Recap. In a gripping and unforgettable Yellowstone finale, the 1923 season ends in devastating fashion, leaving fans reeling with emotion and questioning the future of the Dutton family. The show, set in the early 20th century, has always been about power, land, and legacy, and this season has delivered these themes in spades. However, no one could have predicted the heart-wrenching tragedy that would change everything. In the final moments of the season, the Dutton family faces a life-altering loss that not only impacts the way they operate on the ranch, but also changes the trajectory of the Yellowstone saga for generations. The death of a beloved character who had been integral to the family dynamic and the survival of the ranch marks a turning point in the family's journey, the repercussions of which will reverberate throughout future generations. This season of Yellowstone has taken fans on an emotional roller coaster, offering a blend of high-stakes action, deep familial bonds, and painful betrayals. But nothing could have prepared viewers for the gut-wrenching loss that occurs in the final episode. As we say goodbye to one of the most pivotal characters in the Dutton family's history, we are left with more questions than answers. What does the future hold for the Dutton Ranch? Can the family endure such a loss and rise from the ashes? And most importantly, how will this tragedy shape the legacy of Yellowstone as we know it? The final episode, a storm of tragedy. The episode begins with the Dutton family in the midst of a tumultuous year. The ranch is under constant threat from both natural disasters and encroaching settlers, as land continues to be a contested commodity. The family's power struggles intensify, with each Dutton fighting to protect their own vision of the future of the ranch. The main conflict revolves around the battle for control over the land, as tensions between the Duttons and outsiders rise to dangerous heights. At the heart of the episode, we see the strong but fragile bond between Jacob Dutton, played by Harrison Ford, and his nephew, Spencer Dutton, Brandon Sklinner. While Jacob has become the patriarch of the family, Spencer has always been seen as the protector, the one who would carry on the legacy of the Yellowstone Ranch if the worst were ever to happen. Spencer's tragic fate begins to unfold when he is forced to confront a rival faction seeking to take control of the land. In a final, desperate attempt to protect the ranch, Spencer makes a brave decision. He embarks on a mission that could be his last, knowing full well that the risks are higher than ever. As he rides into the fray, we feel the weight of his determination and his love for the land and his family. The battle that ensues is brutal, filled with violence and tragedy, and in the end, it costs Spencer his life. In a heartbreaking twist, Spencer is mortally wounded in a firefight. Despite his injuries, he fights to survive, but the damage is too great. As he lies dying, he shares a final emotional moment with his uncle Jacob, telling him how much he loves the ranch and the family. Spencer dies in his arms, his passing marking the end of an era for the Dutton family. The loss is devastating, and Jacob is left to grapple with the reality that his beloved nephew, the one person he trusted to carry on the legacy, is gone. A family in mourning. The tragedy of Spencer's death sends shockwaves through the entire Dutton family. His wife, Alexandra, Julia Schletfer, is left to mourn the loss of the man she loved and the future they had dreamed of building together. The grief that follows is raw and unrelenting, and each member of the family must find their own way to cope with the pain. Jacob, the stoic patriarch, is crushed by the loss. Throughout the season, Jacob had struggled with the weight of leadership and the pressure of maintaining the family's legacy. But now, with Spencer gone, Jacob is forced to confront the uncertainty of the future. He knows that the Dutton legacy is fragile, and without Spencer's strength and leadership, the future of the ranch is uncertain. The other members of the Dutton family, including John Dutton, Kevin Costner, and his siblings, are also deeply affected by Spencer's death. John, who has always been the most business-minded member of the family, is hit harder than expected by the loss of Spencer. The death serves as a stark reminder of the dangers the Duttons face and the high cost of holding onto the land they love. But the impact of Spencer's death is felt not only within the Dutton family, but also across the land they inhabit. The tragedy shifts the balance of power on the ranch, leading to new rivalries and alliances. The Duttons are now more vulnerable than ever, and their enemies sense weakness. The fate of the Yellowstone Ranch has never been more uncertain, and the stakes are higher than ever, a legacy shaped by tragedy. The final moments of the episode offer a powerful reflection on the themes of family, loss, and the price of legacy. As Jacob stands over Spencer's grave, the weight of his grief is palpable. But in his sorrow, Jacob finds a new resolve. He knows that the Duttons must endure, no matter the cost. Spencer's death has forced him to reckon with the true cost of power, and in that moment, Jacob vows to protect the ranch and his family at all costs. In the closing scene, the camera lingers on Jacob as he stands alone in the vast expanse of the Yellowstone Ranch, gazing out over the land. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the Dutton family will never be the same. Spencer's death has forever altered the course of their history, and the legacy of Yellowstone will carry the weight of this loss for generations to come. As the episode fades to black, we are left with a haunting question. Can the Dutton family survive this tragedy, or will the cost of their legacy prove to be too great? Impact on Yellowstone and its legacy. The death of Spencer Dutton is not just a loss for the family, but a pivotal moment in the history of Yellowstone itself. This tragedy sets the stage for the conflicts and challenges that will define the future of the Dutton Ranch. The power struggles that follow will be more intense than ever, as those who seek to control the land will now have a deeper motivation. Moreover, Spencer's death will undoubtedly shape the development of future generations of the Dutton family. The next chapters of Yellowstone will explore how Jacob, John, and the rest of the Duttons cope with the loss, and what steps they will take to protect the ranch from those who would see it fall into ruin. This tragedy also brings to the forefront the broader themes of Yellowstone: the tension between progress and tradition, the relentless fight for land, and the personal sacrifices that come with holding on to power. The death of Spencer Dutton reminds us that in the world of Yellowstone, no one is safe, and every victory comes with a cost. Would you like me to expand on any particular parts of the plot, or further develop the aftermath of this tragedy?